are again flying solo, but it's a-okay. We will have a guest tomorrow evening, I promise. But tonight, we're just going to cover a few things that I've been wanting to talk about. And one of them is how to enact change in your life. Now, I am doing this a lot right now with what I have going on in my life and things that are happening right now that I am trying to constantly add as far as like value and those sort of things in my life. So we're going to talk about that this evening. And of course, you know, just to have a little bit of fun. You guys are going to be here, so you know what to do. Come on, if you're used to it, come to the show. Not, you're stuck here. You're going to be here for the next 45 minutes listening to me jabber on about whatever. So let's have a good show, folks. I got to make some clarification really quickly. First of all, thank you for joining me this evening. There will be no Michelle J. Griffin, no Michelle J. Raymond or Michelle B. Griffin. That is next Monday. I am sorry. I made the mistake. It is November 14th. They are doing their book launch party, and I've been asked to host. So I made the goof up, folks. But if I did, I clickbaited you a week early. That's okay. But let's say hi to a few people already watching and tuning in. Thank you so much. Hello, Miss Suri. She's been a guest on the show. Hello, John, all the way from Nigeria. Thank you, Helen, all the way. Look, I appreciate you, Helen, tuning in all the way from Australia. That's a big, big ask. And I'm glad you're here every night. And of course, Miss Yolanda Chin checking us out over on YouTube. We will go to YouTube in just a minute. And my auntie, yes, she is. And I did a mistake. Oh, hello. Hello. It's been a while. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello and goodbye and see ya. That is my tagline for you now every time that I see you. But yes, she's been a guest on the show as well. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, for being here. And of course, yes, if you're checking us out over on our YouTube channel, please go hit the notification bell. It'll let you know whenever we are live, whenever we schedule new lives, and whenever we have new video content on the channel. There you go. So if you're going to have it on YouTube, please go do that. We are now over 1,000 subscribers. And yes, I do use some websites. And it's been fun. Yes, clickbait. We clickbaited you. So if you're here looking in thinking I'm going to see two Michelles for the price of one, not tonight. You got to wait a week. But we do have a great guest for tomorrow. I will cover that here in a little bit. We do have a great guest lined up for tomorrow evening. Somebody I've been trying to get on this show for a while. All right. And like I said, if you're checking us out over on the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. Even though we are at 1,000 subscribers, let's go for 2. Let's get people over there. Head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the page. And of course, like I said, we are live on our favorite platform, LinkedIn. I will take that as a compliment. Tonight, I'll take that as a compliment. Okay. And of course, you know, again, if you're heading here to check me out, as you can see on my head, and you've seen like guys like Krista Brenner, who's been on the show, Chris Hennessy, who's been putting stuff out on his LinkedIn channels and stuff, you can head over to the Mavens of Merch website there, /Gabe Leal. You can go check out our Impro Media swag, but there's also other creators there if you want to go. I'll spread the love. It's okay. Other creators over there, but you know, they are handling merch for a lot of the creators here on the platform, and I love what they do. So if you're heading over there, please head over to our Impro Media swag store. Hook yourself up with some swag. Even if you don't like my swag, there's other swag you can get there. I just want you to support other creators. So head over there, and thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in, Miss Mary Ellen Shea. I miss you too. Thank you for tuning in. And Helen, again, always incredible to see. All right. And of course, you can give a little love to our Inky Black team. They are the ones who designed our logo here. You can head over to inkyblack.design if you're interested in getting a logo or anything else created for you. All right. What the hell do I have going on here? I don't know what the hell that was. Our guy would. That's a good question to ask. We'll ask one day. We'll get an answer. Hello, Mr. Kenneth Dunner Jr. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Check it out. We got different here. We're gonna bring myself full screen here, though. Why not? Because I can and I will. Let's see. For cam, we're gonna go custom. We're gonna go square it out. We're gonna go a little bit of the round edges, and then you can get a full thing of Gabe. There you go. All right, now what was I talking about this evening? Changes. Like, why do I want to talk about changes? Changes are always good well, not always good. Changes are just that sort of pattern interrupt sometimes that we need in our lives. And the reason that I talked about it at the beginning of the show, because I am enacting a lot of changes in my own personal life. Now, I've done a lot of things to adjust to what I'm doing in the world, but there are still more, I feel like there are still more changes around the horizon for me. Now, why do I want to talk about this in terms of like how we talk about change? Because for me, and this is just a personal thing for me, but every time that I've instituted changes in my life, I always find at the very beginning, it is very rough to do. Because again, you're doing a pattern interrupt. Sometimes it is routines. Sometimes it is sleep patterns. Sometimes it's eating habits, exercise. I mean, there's so many things that we can do in our lives to change the way that we live. Our lifestyles are pretty much always adaptable. It's whether or not we want to adapt to anything at all, right? Like some people will buy the same kind of socks for years because they love the way those socks are. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. My thing is this. What happens when they stop making your socks? What happens when they stop making that particular again, I can't talk, but brand? What do? Right? You have to change, right? So my thing is this. Why is it sometimes we have to be forced into change to do things in our lives to make things sometimes better? Like we might change those socks and go, holy crap, these socks are way better than what I've been buying for the last 10 years. Why the hell did it take me so long to do it? Simple answer, right? We get comfortable. We get complacent. There are a lot of things in our lives that we get comfortable with and we love to just sit on them and allow them to be there. This is how sometimes people's relationships get stale because people will sit there and they will do their same things all the time. And, sometimes in a relationship like that, people want spontaneity. They want somebody who can be exciting. I mean, sometimes that's the first thing that attracts somebody to somebody else is having the excitement, the spontaneity, the unknown, right? This is for me, like when I talk about what changes are and how we can put them in our lives. Like my buddy Usama here, he went on, thank you for the message the other day. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. You're welcome. Absolutely. But like when you have the ability, to do something that's going to be very different in your life, and you don't know what the actual it does sometimes. It is sometimes worse than reality. because we are walking into the unknown. Change is unknown. Change is one of those things where we could flip a coin and it could be a good thing or a bad thing, but it's change, right? And people who don't like to get into talking about change, I mean, these last 3 years have been nothing but change. I'm sorry, but if you lived through the pandemic, you were forced into change. You were forced in how you had to shop. You were forced in how your kids went to education. You were forced to change a lot of things in your life, and you were continuously having to do that. Um, you know, for me, like I've always wanted to be a proactive in changing in my life because I lived for so long the other way. Like, let's not rock the boat. Like, don't rock the boat. You don't know what's going to happen. There are a lot of things in life that feel good right now because they're familiar. I mean, getting up every day and taking the same route to work. I mean, those things feel good. You know, after a while though, it loses its thrill. There are times where you're like, you get stuck in traffic all of a sudden, and you don't realize, like, sometimes if you had just taken a different way to work, throw in just that little kink every now and then, right? Like, I love my coffee a certain way, but every now and then I love to change it up, right? There are certain things that I will do to change it up because I never know if I'm going to discover whether or not I like something. That is life, right? So these are things that I'm doing in my life right now that are wanting to change everything around me. Because I feel like if I sit too long and I get stagnant in where I'm at right now, I will never forward progress the way I want to. Right? And there's nothing wrong, again, there's nothing wrong with getting a routine. I'm just saying sometimes throw a few wrinkles into that routine. Build a new routine. Build a new habit. That's why I love when people say, you know what, I'm ready to put a change in my life. Absolutely. What is that for you? Like, what is that change? Like, are you going to put it into action? Are you going to, I mean, again, you know, it's great to have an idea about something. It's great to write an idea down about something, but it's also something to actually do it, to implement it, to put a change in your life. It's like saying, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to exercise. And then what happens when you don't? You go back into the routine. Get up tomorrow, do something different. Like, I know we are creatures of habit, that so many times in our lives we love to rely on what we know, right? And the reason I'm talking about this, because in these last, like, this last month has been crazy for me because I have been doing so many things out of the norm for me, and I'm discovering that I like it because it's challenging me again to do things I had never imagined that I would do. And I talk about change and why it's so important for people to think about, man. I mean, I've had so many conversations. I've deep dived into my own personal life. I've done so many things that I wouldn't even have characteristically before thought about wanting to do because it scared the shit out of me. It really did. And that is scary right there. That is scary to think about. Um, thank you for tuning in. Miss Dusty Rose, appreciate you. Of course, anybody who's here. Just say hello to the familia. I know I've been talking out my ass right now, but Bill Bradford, thank you for tuning in, buddy. Always appreciate. Again, I cannot talk. It's Monday. Excuse me. Albin, appreciate you, man. Always great people that show up here. And again, Helen, Yolanda, everybody who's showing up, Sari, all you guys are incredible. So if you wanted to know what we're doing, we're talking about, and of course, Mary Ellen was here earlier. Yes. But yes, change, right? And like, one of the things that I'm about to do again is going to be a big shift in my personal life. Now, I'm not going to go too far into details of what that is for me, but there are big changes coming down the road for me because I have big plans for myself in 2023. And if I'm going to go do those things that I want to do, if I'm going to go chase all of those things for me, it's going to start with change. And my question to you is, what are you doing in your life right now to do something different? Like to change what your life is. Like, what is your pattern interrupt right now? Like if you're just getting up every day and going to the same doldrums of what your life is right now, and you feel like there is no excitement there, there is no passion, there is something missing from your life, that is the first indicator you should enact change in your life. Something needs to change. Or guess what? If you're not proactively doing this in your life, guess what life does? Life does it for you. Life will come knock on your door even when you're not ready. Go, hello, it's me, life. I've got change for you. Are you ready for it? And most of the times you're like, no, I'm not ready for change. But guess what? Change shows up anyway, and you're going to have to do it. You're forced into it sometimes. So my thing is proactively look at the things in your life. Like sit down with yourself. Sit down with yourself. Take 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Sometimes it's like, I don't have 5 minutes to breathe. Yes, you do. 5 minutes for yourself. Sit down. Think. Like really introspectively think in your life. Like, what could I do so differently? Start with one small thing. Like I said, wake up 5 minutes earlier. Take your coffee differently. Order something else. Do something different. That kind of just, those things, those pattern interrupts, like when we keep going and going and going. And like sometimes I love to pick up comments in here because it really like puts everything in here for me and gives me a little bit of a interrupt, but it allows me again to gain thought, because I know like if I get too far gone on talking about just one internal subject and I don't like bring my audience in here, they're part of the conversation with me. And I'm not just here to preach for myself. I mean, again, I am doing things to change the way that my life is. But yeah, if you don't take the time to do this for yourself, again, you're going to allow an external entity, energy, whatever you want to call it, to come in and do it for you. It happens. Like I've heard numerous examples in these last few weeks of just talking in personal stories and with people, like hearing those sort of things. And I think to myself, what am I doing that's differently? Right? Like, what am I doing that's trying to not be something that I would just feel comfortable with? And I'm liking, I like a lot of the things that I've been doing lately. A lot of the changes that I've been putting into my life, because those things are starting to build towards something. Like I said, it's an unknown. It's an unknown product, an unknown quality. Like, what are you building towards? Like some of those things, like I said, it's scary. And you know what? If you don't like if you don't like change, if you don't like something that you've changed in your life, you know what the alternative is. You know what that's like. You can always, like, if you want to switch back. But my thing is, if you don't stay open to it, though, in any capacity, what opportunities are you allowing to pass you in life? You know? I bet she was. And yes, fix it, Felix. Damn it. That's all we want. I mean, thing is like if you've never prepared yourself for change, and like I said, change comes in so many ways and forms. Like there is one individual in this world or in this country. There's one, maybe two. I don't know. There's going to be two people, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know the astronomical odds, but somebody's going to win $1 billion playing the lottery. Life's going to change. Everything is going to change in their lives. Every single perspective they've had, all the dreams, all the ideas, everything is going to change simply by what? Being lucky sometimes. But you got to get yourself prepared for it, because if you're not mentally prepared, bad things can happen. So my thing is always try to be proactively in changing things in your life. There's a saying, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again: luck favors the prepared. So if you've been preparing for life and you're preparing yourself for changes, and then when that thing comes to allow change into your life, you see it as a blessing and as an opportunity. And it absolutely is. It becomes something that you can celebrate, right? And like I said, change happens if we prepare ourselves for a lot of things, and like say let's just say for the example of losing a loved one. Nobody wants to lose a loved one. I am not prepared to ever think I could lose a loved one, but I knew that my life would have to change because of it, and I would have to deal with it. So I think about sometimes, like, what are those things like in my life? Could I be prepared for that? Could I handle it? Could I do all those things? I answer now, absolutely yes. Do I want to? Absolutely not. That is one thing I want to stay away from, but I can't control that. I can't. But can I be prepared in the way mentally, how I see it, how life happens? Absolutely. And, that's why I tell people who are like stuck in a rut. Like when I talk to people who are in a rut, like their lives are like stuck. And Jason, I love, like, if you don't know who this guy is, so I've just recently connected with Jason. The reason I'm bringing him up because he does a show, and today he talked about something, like I said, is very similar along the lines of what I'm talking about: denial and approval. Go watch his YouTube video and what he was talking about today, and you'll understand where some of the ideas that came from of what I'm talking about tonight. Because he's done this in his own life. Like, this is one of the people that I've been listening to and say, I love what he's been talking about and what's kind of inspired me, because I hear his journey as well and all the changes that he's had to do in his life and how he is now proactively doing this every day in his own life, and he's seeing the benefits of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the amazing thing, is what happens when you do these things, right? So again, if it's picking up a book, if it's reading something, if it's taking in motivation, if it's doing affirmations, meditation, whatever it is, those things are sitting there awaiting for every single one of us. But how many of us actually do it? That's the question. That's the question tonight. Like, what is that for everybody? Like, because again, we can sit here and play the victim role. Hey, Lisa, how are you? We can sit here and be a victim of our own circumstances. We can say that's what's happened in our lives, or we can proactively do something about it. You know the saying, go be the change you want to see in the world? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it might be a big, long hill that you're looking up there when you go take those first steps. But enough of those small steps, and you start realizing that as you look back down on your journey and you start seeing where you're at from where you were, it's pretty incredible. It really is. It's pretty damn incredible to be able to have that happen in your life. Right. And like the changes that I've been making, like I said, they've been totally out of what I would normally do. Right. I'm a fight or flight guy, and I'm usually the guy that flight. I take off. I'm trying not to be that guy. The moment my my instincts want me to, it's like push back. We're going to do it different. We're going to try something different. Like, we are going to make the change. This is it. Break the cycle. Do something out of your own normal realm of what you would do. Right. So that's why I ask. I've had enough conversations over these last 6, 7, 8 months with people. Like, my life is like this. And it's like, I get it. I absolutely do. Trust me, I know. I've had my moment, my dark moment, and the things that kind of fueled me to want to go do this thing of changing. You want to see what the benefits of change are? You're looking at it right now. Had I not decided to make a change in my life, I wouldn't be here talking with you guys. None of you know who the fuck I was. Nobody would know who I was or what I was doing or what I was creating or what I was sharing out in the world. But because I decided to make a change in my life and challenge and keep myself accountable for that change, I'm here every night, night in, night out, doing this. Because there's so much more that I see by doing these things than not. When you sit there on the bench and you watch and you say, man, I wish I had the opportunity to shoot that last minute 3-pointer as the clock winds out. Why do you think that guy gets it and you don't? Or why do you think that person gets it and you don't? Because he's probably put in the time, the work, and the effort to be there. Simply put, you can be that person. But it starts tonight. Don't have to wait till tomorrow. When I realized that I needed to change in my life, I didn't say, you know what, I'll wait 2 weeks from now and then start doing all this stuff. Fuck no. When I felt it and I knew it, I knew I had to act. A lot of things changed in my life. I ended up getting divorced. A lot of things changed in my life. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm a hell of a lot happier now than I was back then. And I'm happier now moving forward with still having this mindset in place. And you know what? There are times where you need a constant reminder. That's why I love having all these conversations, because they are almost like instant moments to get perspective again. Like, I didn't realize this. Like, this is things that we sometimes take for granted. Jason, who was here early, and I'm going to pull up his comment real quick. He was going through a thing where he couldn't be with his child on their birthday. Coincidentally, I had my child on her birthday, and I was able to be there with her. And it gave me perspective that not everybody who wants that gets that. So take advantage of it. I gave my daughter a kiss, and I said that was for him, for being able to have that opportunity in my life, because I know not every father can. And I really, really took it in and understood it and let it sit deeply inside of me, because that's how important all this is, man. And it's why it's so incredible of why we all have the capacity to do this. Every single one of us does. Like, when people say, I can't do what you do, yes, you can. Now, maybe not doing it on a live stream and doing anything else, but whatever your talent lies, whatever that is for you. And if you don't know what that is yet, guess what change does sometimes? It helps you find that. But staying stagnant where you're at and allowing all the external factors to control what's going on in your life, fuck that. Never again. Never again. Because I've learned and continually learn and will continue to learn until I'm no longer on this earth. That's the whole idea behind it. That's what changes. And that's why I know going forward in my own journey that I will find exactly it is the thing that I seek. Because I know that I have this mindset. And I'm realistic about some of the things. Like, I can't sit here and say, I'm going to go play in the NFL. Come on, I'm 48 years old. Probably not going to happen. Right? And even if it's hard and whatever else, there are sometimes factors that that aren't going to allow it. Can I say never? No, I can't. Because then you're just setting that up for failure. But I mean, I know that that's a realistic goal. It's not going to happen if I were to put it out there. Me interviewing Howard Stern one day, absolutely could happen. Could happen tomorrow. Somebody could set me up and say, hey, Gabe, I got the interview of a lifetime right here. Boom, we'll go do it. And those are the things, like I say, that I know that I will be able to get to in my lifetime. So Um, I love some of these comments. I'm trying to get through. Oh, yes, I know, guys. And John, I'm glad I'm talking to you tonight, man. Hopefully that does penetrate, because that's the whole idea of why they do these shows every night, is that it reaches and touches just one individual and changes everything what they got going on in their life. And what's up, hermano? Thank you for stopping in, Mr. Enrique Acosta Gonzalez. Brother, man, reach out, man. I need to get you on the show. We haven't had a talk. But, again, that's the whole thing of why I wanted to talk about this tonight, because I've been doing so many things differently in my life, and it's been sitting on my mind. And when I sit down and write and kind of journal about these things, this is one of the things that comes up, is mentioning what those changes are. And sometimes we do have circumstances in our life, but does not mean we can't do things to change, right? Just because we have circumstances doesn't mean we can't. So, we all have the capacity to do some of these things. And yeah, you know what? I still have a lot of things for myself that I am changing and trying to get better on every single day. And you know what? There are things that I've probably dropped the ball on, and because I haven't done the right kind of changes. Oh, look at there. You have interviewed Stern. He is a great guy. Asshole. You've done what I wanted to do. Okay, but that's okay. It'll happen one day. It will. Trust me. I'll make it happen. But that's just like the whole idea of what I get to do, what my mindset's like every night, is how to do these things. So, and again, keep your mind open to change. There's, like I said, we might think of change as like always just mindset and everything else, but there's just so many things changing in the world. Like if you're getting into Web3 as an example, like if you know nothing about Web3 and blockchain or anything that has to do with that, it's a whole new ballgame. You're going to have to change every way that you think, and it's no longer just linear of how you see things operating. It's different. It's different. It's change from the norm, because people got tired of the same shit. They got tired of the same banking systems and regulation and everything else. So they wanted change. So somebody thought, I'm going to try to change the game. And he did. They absolutely did. And it's a continued change, and it's a growth change. And there's just so many things that go along with that. But that's how change works. Like tomorrow is November 8th. Tomorrow is a very big political day. Now, I'm not going to get political, but if you don't go out and vote, if you don't go do the things that you want to go support who you want to do, and all of a sudden the person you don't want gets voted in office, you got no fucking right to complain. You didn't go try to do the change. You didn't go do your part. Once governments change and you don't take the time to vote and you don't do those things, to me, you've lost your voice, because that's absolutely what you've done. 100%. So that's why I say pay attention. Be proactive in change, folks. Proactive, not reactive. Don't wait for the world to change around you. You do the change in your world, and guess what? You get to have a say in what happens. Promise you do. You absolutely do. So thank you for voting early, Kenneth Dunner. It was. There's so many things. Okay. What else do I got to get into? Oh, before we get out of here, though, we're going to wrap up here, because I'm trying to stay on point of what we got going on. So, again, if you tuned in this evening, I made a mistake. Next Monday, I will have Michelle B. Griffin and Michelle J. Raymond on. They're going to be launching. It's going to be a pre-launch for their book, the LinkedIn branding book. And yes, we'll be talking about branding and LinkedIn and some other things like that. So yes, but we're gonna have it my way. Okay. We're going to have a little fun with it. So when you tune in for that, be prepared. Okay. That's going to be fun next Monday. But tomorrow, as a matter of fact, when I'm talking about Web3 and NFTs and anything like that, our tomorrow night guest, and let me go ahead and pull this in, Mr. Kevin Logan Jr. Me and Kevin both connected on Clubhouse a while back. Let me turn down the music a little bit so it's not too overblaring, but he'll be our guest tomorrow evening. And look at that smile. I mean, come on. I mean, Kalo will be in the house. That's what I call him. That's my pet name for him. But he'll be on the show tomorrow evening, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. And where we go, there's my camera. Okay. Yes. And if you haven't seen, send people to see Feature Kane's interview with Rich Cardona. Yes. If you haven't seen that as well, that is a very moving tale if you have not watched that. So Feature's, again, a mutual companion, friend, you want to call it whatever. She's just an incredible person. But that was the first time I got introduced to her, and I wept at her story. Yes, he will be here tomorrow. Kevin Logan Jr. has booked. He'll be on the show. Enrique, I will reach out to you as well. It's been great. I've been in a cave, but so there you go. Thank you so much, guys. You have again been pretty awesome tonight, and I'm pretty excited for what's on the horizon. Tomorrow I will have the official show count, so you kind of know where we are. I'm going to do, just so you know, I'm going to do a few makeup shows because I am sticking on doing 100 episodes. So I'm going to do a few makeup episodes. So if you see days where you're like, why the fuck is Gabe going live today? We're going to be doing, there you go. All right, go do what you got to go do. But thank you for tuning in and being a part of the show tonight. But again, man, I love what I get to do here every single night. Love what you guys come here and talk about and support. And hopefully you guys got value out of tonight. That's part of why I wanted to talk about the changes that we got going on in my own life and how I equate it to what everybody's doing in their own, because I just know that so many people probably need to hear that. So there you go. That's another one for the books. And again, man, I don't know what else to say except, guys, you are the best audience on any platform, bar none. I mean, I'll even put you up against Pat Flynn's lives. I mean, I don't know if he's still doing those things, but he's got a great audience that tunes in. I got my audience that tunes in. I'll go heads up, and we'll see who wins. Because you guys tune up in here every single night. You bring value. You are part of the conversation. You might as well be in this room here with me while I'm live streaming. So I always appreciate it whenever you guys show up here and are a part of the conversation. And, you know, if I get to do that, that's two goals that I do every day. If I get to bring value to somebody's life and put a smile on somebody's face, day complete. Bammo. Put that out and check that off the list, because that is what I love to do in life. Because the world is a hell of a lot better when you're able to do those two things. And they're both free and they're both simple to do. So that's why those are two of my goals every single day. Is to bring a little bit of value into somebody's life and put a smile on there. It's not hard. Sometimes we make it harder than it has to be, but it's not hard. So, but thank you guys for tuning in again. And I love you. You know, guys, you're all amazing in my books. Aces. And, you know, anytime. So until then, folks, we will be back tomorrow evening. Again, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. Our guest for the Mr. Kevin Logan Jr. will be our guest tomorrow evening. Please tune in. We're going to have a fun conversation. It's going to be great for those who know Kevin. We're going to be catching up. Just having a good fucking conversation. I've been missing on those too. All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. Be well, stay well. Love all, serve all. Trying to add that to the vernacular every single night. So until then, guys, you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Good night, everybody.